All right, starting up here for Wednesday evening. It is quiet for now. It is going to be possibly stormy by the time we work our way into around the weekend, but a slim chance of showers and thunderstorms coming on through there. That's going to be about the extent of it for there. And the next chance of rainfall we've got is way on off toward, again, the beginning portion of the middle of next week. So not a lot of rainfall, and we could definitely use some for the time being, as we are rather behind out there. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onick. You're watching News 12's exclusive video weather blog, Weather Overtime, keeping you updated on what's going on across the area when it comes to weather, and also details about what may be going on in the near future with some other neat stuff, including the Lyrid meteor shower coming up this weekend. Your opportunity to do a little bit more in the way of stargazing, getting your kids interested in a little bit of science, and then also how to be a citizen scientist. If you'd like to help count the meteors and help expert astronomers learn more about how this meteor shower turned out, they'd love to hear from you, and they could use some help. You don't have to have a college degree to be a citizen scientist. All you have to have is the willingness to participate. So good news again on that, to be able to see more about what's going on in your world. Not seeing, again, a lot of major problems. If it seems a little gritty, dusty out there, that's because it is. We've got some very dry conditions, and we'll continue again to see the potential of some more dry weather throughout the course of the next several days across much of the area. But we also see, again, that potential for some fairly dry conditions out there throughout the rest of the next day or two. Chances of showers and thunderstorms coming on through. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. Beautiful view from Island Cove, again seeing the constellation Orion sinking down toward the western horizon for this evening. A lot of very clear skies, only a few high thin clouds drifting on in from out of the west, so little if anything really taking place for tonight. From Lee Point, looking at good travel conditions, travel moving along pretty well around the 64-153 intersection, so not too much to show you again in current conditions where any inclement weather is showing up, so good news on that. Temperatures right before 10 o'clock Eastern time, back in the lower 70s. Humidity is up. It was, again, way on the low side, but now it's up to about the mid 40% range, and winds are fairly calm compared to where they were over the last several hours. Now, through about, again, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the dew point temperature, it's not the humidity, it's the temperature of the air completely saturated. But when you see the air temperature and the dew point temperature very close together, that shows that the humidity is very, very high, and usually is going to be decently uncomfortable depending on what time of the year it is. When the temperature is high and the dew point is very low, that shows a very big difference in the temperatures and how much moisture there is in the air. So we're looking at early this afternoon some very dry conditions, and that's not entirely good news, and we'll explain why in just a little bit. Now, for the last couple of hours, we've gotten a little bit more humidity, so it's not totally terrible out there, but we will be looking for the potential of some wildfire issues out there. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. For the almanac page, we did manage to get, again, a little bit of some very nice temperatures out there, definitely above normal, about 10 degrees above normal, and within about 7 degrees of a record high that hasn't been broken since 2002. 47 are low, and temperatures again through this afternoon, again, that we're pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year, so not doing too bad for there. And record low temperature of 29, last set back in 1983. A little breezy today, wind gusts at about 23 miles per hour, so not doing too bad on the numbers there. Thanking our own web content producer Courtney Goins for today's West Shore Home weather window picture of the day, taken from the top of the Ferris wheel in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Beautiful blue skies out there with a few clouds over parts of the mountains, and a very nice view out there. Thank you very much, Miss Courtney, for that. If you've got pictures, please send them in to us, pictures@wdef.com, or drop them to any of our social media pages. You'll be able to see a little bit more about those out there. You'll find us, just search WDEF or News 12, and you'll come up with where we are, and again, an opportunity to get your pictures out there so everybody can see. Also, we post these pictures to social media. You'll see them out there every once in a while, so stay tuned for more on that. Again, for right now, things are decently quiet into tomorrow. You've got about one more good day to get out for gardening, for hunting, fishing, whatever it is you're going to be doing. For golf purposes, it is going to be a little breezy out there as winds are going to be out of the south at about 15 to 20 miles per hour at times, so that could cause some slice and hook difficulties. Also going to be very warm, so take that water with you. You're more than likely going to need that. Got little, if anything, going on for tonight. We are watching some thunderstorms develop over portions of Kansas and the Great Plains states, but beyond that, we're just not getting too much of any major concerns for development where we are. High pressure keeping things very much under control and very much on the dry side for right now, and should be looking again at some very mild conditions as long as this area of high pressure remains in place, basically blocking off the Gulf of Mexico from sending any moisture northward. We've got plenty of moisture here as air around high pressure in the northern hemisphere rotates clockwise. This is pushing this moisture up and into parts of the plain states as the fuel for these thunderstorms, and that's where we may see some severe weather coming up later on tonight. This whole system is moving our direction, and as it does, we'll be looking for the potential of some more storms, but right now it just really doesn't seem like we're going to be getting a lot of that activity coming on through, so good news on that. The dry weather is concerning at this time, enough for the National Weather Services in Nashville for Middle Tennessee and for Eastern Tennessee from the National Weather Service up around Morristown, which covers the northern portion of the News 12 viewing area, also western North Carolina, Cherokee County in News 12 viewing territory. North Georgia and Northeast Alabama are not issuing a fire weather watch. This is issued when conditions are very conducive for the development and widespread passing through the continuation of wildfires. So for right now, for Thursday, the area in red is going to be the best possibility of that. Even higher possibility north of us into Kentucky and the Ohio River Valley, but that's not the News 12 viewing area. We have the opportunity again for more wildfires spreading through middle and eastern Tennessee and western North Carolina through Thursday. Now, we don't have, again, any watches south of Chattanooga or the Tennessee state line. The National Weather Services in Huntsville and Peachtree City, Georgia, which cover these areas, have not issued anything at this point, but conditions are going to be, again, very conducive for that. So even though there's not a possibility of a weather watch being issued here, at least for right now, there is going to be a good condition for burning tomorrow, and that's not an encouragement. That's just saying it could catch very quickly. So all it's going to take is just a stray spark from a welder's kit, a backyard barbecue, a cigarette butt tossed out the window. That is what could start a very quickly spreading wildfire. So a lot of caution will be needed tomorrow. The low humidity and the higher winds, that combination is going to set in motion a chain of events that could be, again, very detrimental. If it gets big enough, it could be a threat to property and life. And so, again, and a lot of safety issues out there as well. So for all the News 12 viewing area, even the ones that don't have the fire weather watch in effect, please take that seriously and be very careful with anything involving fire. North of us into Kentucky and north of there, the red flag fire warning, that's in effect. That's an even higher potential of fires catching and spreading. So this area as well, doing any campouts throughout the early portion of the week, anything in the way of just like outdoor maintenance, things that might involve a welding torch or anything else. Now is not the time to be burning off dead grass or burning trash. Never really a good time for that if we want to help the environment. But again, this is something to watch out for tomorrow, and that'll be in effect through 8 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday for that fire weather watch taking place. We'll keep you updated on that from News 12, so please keep us in mind, and we'll let you know more about what's going on. Showing again the winds helping to spread a lot of wildfire smoke out there. And again, if you saw the downtown cam a little while ago, you'd notice that it was not exactly totally clear, and thanks in part to the fact that there are wildfires burning elsewhere across portions of the southeastern United States. The winds are carrying that smoke right over our area, and so that's partially why it felt a little gritty and looked a little dusty out there through the rest of the evening. So please, again, this is not joking around territory. This is not trying to hype any type of weather situation. It is what it is, and it's a very dry situation, which means wildfires can start very easily. So again, let's just be very cautious with anything involving fire or flame out there. All right, let's get going and see what's happening with the weather situation through tomorrow morning. Bus stop time for the kids. It will be a little brisk. Some temperatures dropping into the mid to upper 40s. Would not be surprised to see some lower 40s out there into tomorrow. The rest of Friday through the afternoon, easily back in the mid to upper 80s. So a very toasty day. Not that much in the way of cloud cover out there. By Friday morning, bus stop time, brisk, but not as cool as it has been. There were a couple of models showing the potential of showers and thunderstorms moving in by about dismissal time for the kids on Friday. Doesn't look that way for now. There will be some scattered showers west of us, but so far that looks to be, again, fairly well non-problematic for us here. But that's, again, something else we'll be watching out for. Now, going into late Friday evening, about midnight or so, when that line comes through, that's where we could see the possibility of maybe some stronger weather. Doesn't look like a great chance at this point. And then by early Saturday, the threat of rainfall will be pretty much gone from us, and little, if anything, left over outside of just a few clouds. So really good news for the meteor shower coming up Saturday night into Sunday. We'll be checking that forecast out here in just a little bit. So not too shabby on that for the time being. 7-day forecast, again, showing that potential of showers and thunderstorms developing Friday night late and going into Saturday, and then finally working its way on out of the picture as we head into around very early Saturday morning. So for Saturday night into Sunday, where the Lyrid meteor shower will be peaking, it looks like conditions will be a lot better than what they looked like several days ago. So very good news there. Also a little cooler going into the weekend with temperatures back in the upper 60s to around the lower 70s. Next week, some sunshine. Sorry for the glare. The light they gave me here is kind of reflecting badly, so to speak. Chances of showers coming back late Tuesday into around early Wednesday, and then also maybe a rumble of thunder, but just showers is what it's looking like for right now. And temperatures remain below normal all the way through next week, so very mild out there for the next few days. Could be a little brisk coming up into Monday morning with temperatures back in the maybe the upper 30s, lower 40s for the most part, but those higher elevations around the area, you can get very cold up there very quickly, more so than lower elevations of the river valley. So I would see the possibility of some very chilly numbers coming up Monday morning, but pleasant throughout the rest of next week, even with those showers coming on through. Again, this does not look like severe weather at this point. Matter of fact, let's take a look at that forecast real quick and give you an idea as to what we may be looking at here for the next day or two. What did I do with that? Well, it was here a minute ago. Here we go. Okay, from the Storm Prediction Center, the main threat for tonight will be well back to our west into around the Red and the Missouri River valleys, all the way back up into the mid-plain states. That will again be getting a little bit closer to us as we go into around Thursday. There will be a slight risk from about St. Louis all the way back down to portions of central Texas, but notice for us, we're still not getting anything around Thursday, and it should remain that way. Now, going into Friday, the threat for severe weather takes a downturn, and a pretty severe one too, to where it goes all the way down into around southeast Texas, southwestern parts of Louisiana. What we see again is just the possibility of generic thunderstorms in this light green shaded area. So the closest severe weather to us will be around Memphis for Friday afternoon and evening, and then that's it. We don't really see much of anything going on at this time to where it's going to be a major concern. Thunderstorms, yes. Severe weather, not for us at this time, and hopefully again it stays that way. So looking very quiet overall as we go into the weekend itself. All right, good news at this time again for the meteor shower. There will be some showers and thunderstorms early on Saturday, but I think that as of right now we should see little, if anything, taking place. I'm going to get rid of that glare. Give me just 2 seconds here to try to tone that down by just a bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. What we're looking for, again, look for the constellation of Lyra the Harp. That's north-northeast. That'll be Saturday evening, and that'll rise upwards to the peak of the sky by about midnight, early Sunday morning. And that's where the radiant, where the meteors will look like they are coming from. It looks like, again, those quick streaks across the sky. If you go out there right now, we're already technically in the meteor stream. It's just we won't see the peak of it until Saturday night, Sunday morning, when we'll get about 18 meteors per hour, which again is not huge. It's not a meteor storm, which would be about 100 meteors per hour, but it will be, again, one of the bigger meteor showers of the year. So if you want to go out and take a look at it, should be a good opportunity to do so. Again, clouds may be sticking around a little bit, but I think right now the improved conditions with the weather getting out of here earlier, we may see less clouds by Saturday night, so hopefully that forecast improves. And again, looking good all the way on through, but not expecting a meteor storm for this year. If you would like to become and help if you'd like to become a citizen scientist, it's very easy to do so with several projects, not just with astronomy, but with things like pollution, science education, all sorts of stuff like that. And if you'd like to help the scientists who study meteor showers to determine what they're made of, how often they occur, the frequency, and how, again, we can make better predictions regarding meteor showers. It's very easy to do so if you go out and count and then fill out a form at the American Meteor Society to find out details about what's going on. Good opportunity to learn more about what's happening out there where it comes to meteor showers. Again, the peak night will be coming up Saturday and Sunday, April 22nd into April 23rd. You can fill out that form. Again, just take notes of what exactly it is that you see, how many meteors per hour, where you were looking, as accurate as possible. And that data, you don't have to have a PhD in astronomy to do this. You just have to have a willing heart and have a way of keeping track of the meteors. So if you'd like to know more, head to my websites on social media. Tons of great information there. Also, and again, this is really cool to take a look at because this is International Dark Sky Week. And if you haven't had a chance to check that out either, the opportunity, again, to get out and see what's out there. It's probably been a long time, I would guess. I go out and stargaze pretty much almost every single evening that it's clear because I think astronomy is cool and I like being able to do it. But if you'd like to participate at a group that helps to promote astronomy and helps to bring attention to light pollution, to where we have some very inefficient technology, to where we waste a lot of light over downtown areas, and that sky shine out there does a good job of messing up biological patterns for humans and birds alike. And if you'd like to know more about how you can help finding dark sky sites to really, truly, greatly see just how magnificent the night sky is, you can find out more about that as well, becoming a dark sky advocate. All you have to do is go to International Dark Sky Week website. That's IDSW, International Dark Sky Week, at idsw.darksky.org to find out more details about what you can do to help and how cool science and astronomy is. If you'd like to be able to take a look at that, all kinds of neat things out there. And again, find out more from my social media pages. I'm out there all over the place, so you'll find me at various locations. So hit me up for more information. If you got questions, again, email me at aonic@wdef.com. Would love to hear from you on that and to keep you updated as to what's going on. That's about it for everything happening tonight. Things are very quiet and hopefully will stay that way. Don't forget that Chip Chapman will have your forecast coming up bright and early tomorrow morning. That's starting at 5 a.m. You bring the coffee, we'll bring the news, weather, and sports, and that'll be again on the morning show starting at 5 a.m. with Chip Chapman. Your forecast on the downward slide into the weekend, so looking a lot nicer out there over the course of the next several days after we get rid of some of this rainfall in the near future. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. You've been watching News 12's exclusive video weather blog, Weather Overtime. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday evening. Again, more details with the weather forecast always available at wdef.com/weather. Thanks for joining us.